Greetings and salutations, my stitchy friends. Happy World Embroidery Day to you. Come on, is there anything finer? Not much, I don't think, than a big fat celebration of something we love to do, right? So, I'm coming at you from my Corbiere-Scott Designs page today because I think some people don't know that I draw and design embroidery patterns for a company called Adorn It. And they, good morning, Michelle. Anyway, I have a private Facebook group called Stitch the States with Corbiere-Scott that I have little stitch-alongs every Wednesday. But I don't know if there are people, I feel like there might be people who don't know that I do that along with visual arts, right? So, what did I just do? Oh, it's a whole situation. There we go. But I did think that maybe, so I'm stitching Oregon right now. I was thinking I might need to change the name of my group since I'm almost done with all 50 state flowers. And so I've done all 50 state collages, and now I'm almost done with all 50. Oh, Michelle, are you from Oregon? That's so cool. Jeff and I want to go so badly because we want to see the Oregon coast, you know? I just want to see it so bad. So I am just stitching away. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you're here. I'm so glad our paths crossed this morning. That's for sure. So I am, I have funny things to tell you. So I have funny things and I have poignant things, and you know, I always make my notes before we meet. So, okay, question of the day. Are you ready? I always do question of the week in the stitch along group, but I thought, oh, let's do a question of the day. And it's a funny one. What is your favorite, are you ready for it? Automatopoeia. What's your favorite automatopoeia? And do you remember what an automatopoeia is? I just loved learning about automatopoeia because I like to say automatopoeia in school, but it's the formation of a word from a sound associated with what it is named. So like cuckoo, boom, sizzle, buzz, kapow, rustling, babbling, yawn, tweet, splash, right? I just think automatopoeias just make language more descriptive and interesting. So, I don't know. Just think about an automatopoeia that's kind of interesting to you. I was thinking about how we use them every day and we never think about that it's an automatopoeia, you know, right? When we think about swooshing or brushing. I still haven't decided what color I want to outline the state of Oregon, but I'm really feeling like I might want to do something kind of bluish, purplish. I don't know. Just kind of feeling that. I haven't used that color in a while. when I started, I kind of made like a palette for myself. So I'm still kind of, you know. Here we go. Okay, what other things do I have to tell you about? But be thinking about your favorite automatopoeia. Or just an automatopoeia. Oh, I thought it would be interesting to share a quote from the amazing artist Sinead O'Connor that we sadly lost this week. I feel like she was so misunderstood, that she was, you know, and was, oh, look at how cute that is. Ahead of her time in so many ways, and mistreated by the industry, by the Catholic Church, by her own mother, by so many. But anyway, and you know I'm all about girl power. So I saw a quote from her that I was like, oh my gosh, that is brilliant, and something that everyone should hear. The important thing about brave is it doesn't mean you're not terrified. Right? I think sometimes we get that mixed up. We think that if you're brave, then that means that you're not afraid, you're not, you know. No, that all still happens. That's for sure. Okay, what did you just say, Michelle? Okay, so the thing that I, when I was taught to embroider, my mother and grandmother both taught me that my back should look almost as nice as the front, right? So a way to avoid it looking cruddy is to not be afraid of starting and stopping. So by that I mean, so do you see, like I stopped and cut my thread and tied it off for just this little flower. I did the same with all of the letters across, right? You really need to, like, don't bring floss from one area all the way across. Like, it has to be a pretty small, like this is the only place here. That's the only place where I went across a little bit of space. Lots of people do across big pieces of, or big expanses of fabric, and that's where it starts to look a mess on the back side. I'm not saying that my way is the right way. I'm just saying if you want your back to look clean, starting and stopping. So like here, I could finish this flower and then go to this flower from here. Do you see what I'm saying? Like I could end here and then just come up. I could pull that thread all the way over here, right? But this flower, too far. It's too far. I do sometimes, if I have just a little bit of space to go across, I will sometimes kind of weave my floss. I'll show you. Never mind. It's easier to show it than tell it. But I would say, like, starting and stopping. It doesn't take much. It doesn't take much to just start and stop. And you'll have such nicer results. And we're not in this for a hurry, right? We're here to relax. Oh my gosh. So I got these vitamins. My husband got me hooked on these gummy vitamins, you know, like a multivitamin and a B12. And I ran out of and they're both gummies. And I ran out of the B12. So I didn't have time to run to the store. So I just ordered them from Amazon. But have you watched the news in the last little while and read about how hot it is in Phoenix? Well, I am here to tell you, my vitamins arrived and they were just in a great big glob, like all melted together. So I have to like slice myself off a little bit of B12 each morning. Like that looks like about 2 gummies worth. Crazy. Anyway. Okay, so here, you see, this is where, let's see if I can. So this is the closest point to that flower, right? So let's look in the back so you can see what I'm talking about. So do you see that? That's not much longer than a stitch, right? And it will, oh, Michelle, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that it's been relaxing for you. It's just, for me, it's just the loveliest. And each Wednesday, I know if nothing else, I will have that half an hour on Wednesday mornings for stitching. And I will just take my time and it just, you kind of need to slow down, you know? And sometimes we have to make ourselves slow down. Haven't you found that? That we get so like, oh, involved in all the things. In last Wednesday's, just a sec, everybody take a drink. We gotta stay hydrated. So anyway, in last Wednesday's stitch along, I had talked about, someone had asked me about different embroidery hoops. And so I showed some that I have, and then I said, be sure to sign up for my newsletter because I'll put embroidery hoop 101 information in the newsletter. My newsletter comes out each Friday, and so, and there's a sign-up form right at the top of this page. Anyway, I did include lots of information, but in the newsletter. So if you are not subscribed to my newsletter, please do so that you have access to that information. And, but I thought this morning I could go over the types of embroidery hoops one more time. There's only one that I don't have an example for, I believe. Anyway, okay, so normally, when I normally stitch, I use a wooden hoop. Right? The typical wooden embroidery hoop, right? That has one hoop is smaller than the other and fits inside, and the fabric fits around that, right? And then it has the screw at the top for tightening, a little brass fastener up here at the top. So there's that one, and this is what I use kind of a lot. You know why? Because I have a lot of these, and I don't know, they're just easy, they're cheap. So I did write down some information that I could talk to you about each kind of hoop. So wooden are the most common, and they are inexpensive, and you can find them anywhere. Like you can find them at Walmart, you can find them at Michael's or wherever you go. Then the plastic ones are still pretty common, and they are great, and they have a pretty good grip. And they often have, do you see this little lip at the bottom of the bottom hoop? Can you see that? That really helps grip your fabric, right? It just is like just that little bit more. And the purpose of a hoop is to hold your fabric taut as you're stitching, right? Another type is the one that I'm using right here, and it's called a spring tension hoop. And let me see, there we go. So this is the base, and this fits here, right? You just squeeze those two together, and then you see there's like a little runner all the way around, and the spring part, whoops, as long as you hold on to it correctly. The spring part fits in there, and then it's not this difficult. I don't know why I'm having an issue this morning. And then it just secures itself in there. Another kind is the Nerge. Now, the Nerge is this is a UK company, and they, so your screw is up here, and you see it's kind of at a funny angle. That's kind of interesting, and I'll show you. So you untwist, and it's like, that's not loosening, but then you, do you see how that pulls away from each other? So the cool thing about Nerge that I have found is that it's kind of nice that the screw is at an angle like that. It's easier, like your whole thumb and finger can get around that, versus here. Do you see how you're close? It's close. But that's not a make or break. It's just nice. The other thing that I really like about a square or a rectangle Nerge embroidery hoop is I get way more stitching surface, right? So watch. So I have a larger stitching surface. Unscrew, unscrew. There we go. Now let's put... We're going to put Nebraska back in there. So do you see how all the corner, like I don't have any, with a circle, I'll show you just a sec. It kind of cuts off on the edge. I'm going to tighten that up. Right? If I had a circle, it would cut off part of this. Right? But with a square, I have way more open space. So that's just something to consider. The spring-loaded, I like it. It's just weird because it's, are you ready for it? Because it's opposite, right? The top and the bottom are opposite on a spring-loaded. That's really, it holds nice and tight. It feels good in your hand. It's easy to move things around if you need to, but it's just opposite, right? Instead of the stitching area being raised, the stitching area is lower. The other hoop item is, this is called a Q snap. Okay, so here's the, okay, so this, comes apart. And this is a cross stitch that I've been working on for, I'm afraid to tell you how many years. Okay, so it comes like this, right? And these pieces all snap together, right? It's just plastic. And then you put your fabric over it. And then these little half moon kind of pieces snap, right? Snap. Snap. Snap, right? So I know that's horribly crooked, but you get the idea, right? It holds nice and tight, and it's very ergonomic on your hand. Like, it's a nice grip, right? It's easy. Like, you don't get as much. Do you know sometimes when you stitch a lot, you get a hand, your hand gets tired, fatigued a little bit. This is a very nice way to stitch. Anyway, I just thought I would let everybody know all my hoop findings. So have you been thinking of your automatopoeias? I just love saying that word. And I love our question of the week. So I just thought, oh, question of the day. So I will post that. I will post that in the group later on. So Michelle, what part of Oregon are you from? Or where do you live, I should say. Because from and live are oftentimes very different, aren't they? Ta-da. Okay, so I finished that little flower, and now remember the third flower is a little bit too far away, so I'm going to tie this off. I'm just going to go underneath some of those stitches I've already done, and then pull my thread through there, put my needle through there. I like to do a couple just to be on the safe side, and then snip. And then tie another knot. And then let's go do this little flower. They're so pretty. I can't wait to see Oregon grapes. I've been traveling quite a bit lately, and every place I go, because I've drawn all of these state flowers, I want to see them in their natural habitat, you know? Kind of like going to the zoo. Or going to the zoo versus going on a safari. I mean, I can see roses anywhere, but I would love to see, since that's like New York state flower, I would love to see a New York rose. I remember when I saw South Dakota's state flower, which is a wild prairie rose, when my sister and I were driving across from Billings, Montana, where she lives, to Sault Ste. Marie, Michigan, where my parents live. And we stopped at this rest stop, and I'm telling you, it was like a whole meadow of them, and holy smokes, they were so beautiful and so fragrant. If you've ever smelled a wild rose, they smell different than a more domesticated rose. And oh my gosh, They were just stunning. And they were all that shade of pink that was just second to none. It was so beautiful. So, so beautiful. There we go. Oh, this one was quick, wasn't it? Under, and then I come in with my needle. I was noticing that this end of my floss is getting a little frayed, so let's use that as our knot end for a minute. Oops, sorry. Okay, let's start here. I have some new designs coming out from Adorn It. I have a Stitches in Faith Stitch Club that's coming out, and I can hardly wait to stitch that. But I also do little mini collections that come out. So, like I have Halloween designs that are coming out, some fall, some Christmas. That's the best, isn't it? I like to have like different hand-stitched tea towels in the kitchen during the holidays, or just year-round, you know. I've drawn some other florals besides the state flowers and the state collages. I did a collection called Bloom in the spring, super cute, and some Easter bits and bobs. And I was thinking about, there's this kind of quilt called a gypsy something. No, I don't remember. But anyway, it's kind of like a Tetris. Do you know what I mean? Like it's all different sizes of blocks that kind of create this, oh my gosh, it's so beautiful. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be kind of cool to do a quilt that was like a year-round quilt? So it could have like my Easter designs and my summer designs or spring designs and Christmas designs and Thanksgiving designs. Do you know what I mean? Like all like a year-round quilt. And they could be different size blocks. They could just be divisible by whatever. So like divisible by 4. So it could be a 4-inch block or like increments of that. So it could be 2 inches, 4 inches, 6 inches. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm kind of thinking about. I thought that might be a fun way to incorporate all kinds of things that I've stitched. There we go. Well, I hope that you continue to stitch today to celebrate World Embroidery Day. How cool is that? It was started in Sweden. Isn't that something? Because I think I put on my calendar for August, I put National Embroidery Day, and it's not. It's not. It's world, which I think is amazing. And Swedish embroidery is gorgeous, so that comes as no surprise, right? That it would be the birthplace of something so amazing as World Embroidery Day. Well, my time is up, but I want to finish this little bitty flower. There's this sense of satisfaction. Don't you set little stitchy goals for yourself? I sure do. I'll finish this flower. It's kind of like when you're reading a book. Just one more page. Just one more page. And I will say back stitch is certainly one of the easiest embroidery stitches to do. That's for sure. Ta-da! So, like I said, I hope everybody enjoys their World Embroidery Day. I hope that you celebrate by taking some time to stitch and just, you know, get in the little flow zone that happens when you stitch. I can kind of block out everything. It's the loveliest. So, until Wednesday, where we will meet together on Stitch the States with Anne Corbiere-Scott Facebook group. Go out and have the best beginning of the week, and we will talk again on Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.